Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean, and this is my post-fight video for the Gennady Golovkin Canelo Alvarez fight from last night. And first of all, I thought it was a very, very good fight. Massive credit to both of them. It definitely didn't disappoint. It was a bit closer than I thought it would be, and Canelo did a lot better than I thought he would. Scoring was total bollocks. I had Golovkin winning the fight, not like easily, but clearly. Now, I mean, one of the scorecards, I mean, fucking hell. I saw MBT Boxing's video, like just now, talk about the scoring. Again, absolute joke. What was it, 118, 110? Yeah, I mean, we've seen this loads of times with Canelo fights, and it's a shame because it kind of took the shine off it, really, because it was a very good performance from Canelo, and he fought very well. And then it just leaves you with a bit of a bad taste in the mouth again, like every time he has to go to the cards with him. So yeah, I had the fight Golovkin winning. I'd say the first half of the fight was pretty close, and it was competitive. I mean, the whole fight was competitive, but competitive in a sense that, you know, they were both winning rounds. Now, for me, I would have given like the first half of the fight probably like 4 rounds to Golovkin, a couple to Canelo. But if someone had given it like 3-all or something like that, or even 4-2, I suppose, I couldn't have been, you know, that angry about that. But the second half of the fight, Golovkin clearly won, in my opinion. Canelo had his moments. You could make the case, I suppose, that at times he threw like the better punches. He's got very quick, flashy combinations. So, kind of a bit like the Danny Jacobs fight, really. I think the Danny Jacobs fight was closer than this, but there were kind of similarities in the sense that Golovkin was like forcing the action, but Canelo would land with some quite catchy sort of combos. I think he landed the better punches in some rounds, but I think Golovkin just outworked him, outlanded him. And not even really like the better punches, just the sort of faster, flashier looking ones. You know what I mean? I think Golovkin had him to the ropes quite a lot, especially as the fight went on. Now, the first half of the fight, I was thinking like this is looking pretty close. Like Canelo's looking serious. Golovkin was coming in like landing some jabs, but Canelo was catching him like he does with the sort of counter combinations. And Golovkin was obviously a bit wary of the speed of them coming back at him. So I thought those rounds were definitely close, but I do think that Golovkin edged it just with his work rate and just constant scoring. You know, he's getting his jabs in, he's getting his right hands over the top. He was getting hit a few times, but he was still forcing the action, and he was landing. It wasn't like it was just sort of pointless aggression. He was closing him down, and he was getting punches in. As the second half went on, Canelo looked to be that he couldn't really keep up that pace, and he was, you know, still fighting in spurts, and he still looked impressive, but he'd throw a few combinations, or he'd throw he'd have a little spurt of like 2 combinations together. He'd push Golovkin back a little bit, but then he'd just sort of get on the back foot again, and he started to look more and more tired, and Golovkin was just sort of closing him down, just constantly outworking him. Now, Canelo took some good punches. Now, he took them a lot better than I expected him to. It's quite impressive, really, because he's never fought at middleweight before. I mean, he fought the sort of farce of the last fight he had, but all his fights have not only been at a lower weight, but generally when he's had a weight advantage over other people. So I was quite interested to see how he would take the power and the sort of physicality of someone like Golovkin. And to be honest, he did well. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was forced onto the back foot, and he did come off worse in the exchanges. I mean, his speed allowed him to sometimes have the better of them, but generally speaking, when it came to just sheer brute force, 2 objects meeting together, he was forced onto the back foot, and he couldn't really go toe to toe with him. But he did take some good punches, and he didn't get wobbled particularly. He didn't get disheartened. I just think the pace of the fight that Golovkin forced was like too much for him. As it went on, that became more and more the case, and I think Golovkin won. I mean, the majority. I wasn't sitting there scoring every round, but the majority of the second half of the fight. I think Canelo probably like won the 12th round because he came out there really throwing some fast combinations and really trying to assert himself. But I don't think it was enough. I think he did very well, and I think he definitely if he had the stamina and the relentlessness of Golovkin, then like he could. Do you know what I mean? He could definitely hold his own. There were times when he would do it, and just the sheer speed and the punch variety of Canelo is very good as well. So he's very accurate with his punches because he'll hit you with 3 or 4 punches, hitting you in different parts of the body. It's very difficult to defend against them, and you can see that Golovkin was wary of them when Canelo did hold his feet, and let him have it. But generally speaking, Golovkin was just sort of closing him down. Just that relentless physical, mental pressure was too much. And I think Golovkin, I wasn't scoring the rounds, I think Golovkin won 8 rounds. If you want to give Canelo 5, I think it'd be a bit of a push, but, whatever. But yeah, disappointing with the score, because I think it was wrong. But at the end of the day, Golovkin keeps his titles. He's still the champion. Canelo put in a very good performance. Fair play to him. He moved better than I expected as well, because he looked quite big. I think that possibly had something to do with him being able to absorb so much punishment. Maybe he sort of saw what Danny Jacobs was able to do and did that. But yeah, I don't know if that slowed him down, because he's normally got stamina issues anyway. But he was quite effective on the back foot, even though not enough to win the rounds, because as I say, I think Golovkin was winning. He was able to kind of get away from Golovkin better than I anticipated, which is probably why he wasn't stopped. Or at least that's why I thought Golovkin was going to be able to stop him. I didn't see Canelo being able to move away enough, and I didn't see him being able to push him back enough. But he kind of did the two things. He moved away quite well, used his feet, and his combinations occasionally managed to push him back. So between the two, he was able to go 12 rounds and give a pretty good account of himself. But yeah, credit to both of them. Shame that just this sort of nonsense scoring again has once again sort of overshadowed a good performance from Canelo. But yeah, I suppose they're just going to want to do a rematch now, aren't they? It'd be a good fight to watch, but I always like to see people fight different people. Do you know what I mean? We've had this going on for quite a long time. For me, there was a clear winner. I prefer to see both of them fight against some different opponents. But, if they do make a rematch, then, I'm not going to be campaigning against it. Do you know what I mean? It was a good fight. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say about it for now. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And thank you very much for watching.